it's here where I am. But I don't really need to see if I'm working demo, so maybe if you want to come over here.
This is the Maria.
Well, it's just a
The
bubble.
Maria.
Just a small bubble.
Just a small ball.
Okay? So it's just going to teach you how this glass is working and how you have to position
Your hands.
your hands
And how to turn in the flame.
okay, so don't go like this. You're going to be really exhausted after a few minutes. I'm usually using my elbow like that. Don't go like that. Just you're leaving some space and you try to make another sphere.
Okay, fine.
Right? And you see, I'm gathering the glass. So you push really gently. And then you go out of the flame, you keep turning, turn, 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 wait, and even if the glass is not glowing, it's still moving, okay? So you keep turning. Okay, one more time.
I always wanted to learn how to make those things. I just
Oh,
look at this, day one.
it's just a practice, okay? It's just...
So you're not pushing it in, are you?
I'm pushing, but it's really gently.
Okay.
You have to push it gently in the flame.
Okay.
Not to squish the glass until you have like a donut shape.
Mm-hmm.
You want the ball to stay pretty round.
As much as you can, okay?
As much as you can.
But just try to avoid pushing too much, because this glass is going to crack if you're creating angles. We're going to go through this.
Yeah, I will explain it a bit later.
But she had a really good question. Are you pushing both hands? It's like both hands are pushing, but when I'm start building the ball shape, I'm melting the glass and then I'm just going on the right of this kind of shape to gather the glass.
And then you keep going after you put it on
Yeah,
the flame.
all the time.
Yeah.
Until
all the
it cools
time.
down enough,
Yes.
like you feel it rigid
Yeah.
again.
Yes.
Don't be too much excited, and if you stop
Like
turning,
otherwise
it's like
you will, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said. You're pushing only with your right hand
Yeah.
and
Well-
turning with both hands.
Yes.
I'm turning with
Yes.
both hands, and when I start pushing, I'm pushing with both hands. But after that, I'm moving the flame on the right side of the bowl to gather more glass. I don't want to keep everything liquid.
Yeah.
Okay? Is it clear enough for everyone?
Yeah, until we
Well,
do
then
it.
You will do one and then we can redo the demo.
You
again,
see?
Okay?
I'm pushing gently now, and I don't want to keep everything really hot, so I'm just going to gather more glass from the right side. You see? So I'm feeding it, exactly. So there's always something, half of the sphere is hot, but it's not moving so much. So it helps me to control everything.
And to keep everything center. You see that both rod are even? They are center. They are at the same level. You don't have one rod down and one rod up. They are center, almost like you didn't touch the rod. So it's important to practice, because when we will be blowing, everything has to stay centered.
So we are going to try with this size of rod. Because it's really small, it's going really fast. Everything is melting really fast. If it's too much trouble for now, we can always use a bigger rod. It's going to give you more time to see what's going on. Okay? So for now, we're just making the ball like that. And because it's borrow, I can reheat what I just did. It's a really good thing about borrow. You can always change the shape or add something. It's not going to crack because you're repeating everything. So I have the balls. You see, I just had a little bit more gas in the flame because I want a larger flame, a fluffy flame. And I'm just going to reheat between the balls.
So did you notice that you start to reheat next to the first ball that he made. So if you don't want to have crack in borrow, you need to follow some steps. You cannot heat everywhere. You have to start on one side and move your way to the other side always. You cannot just heat and heat and heat and heat. Then it will start cracking everywhere because the stress has no place to go. So you start by doing like from left to right, and then it's going back to left to right all the time.
So, and you don't want to walk too close from the flame because the flame is wider, maybe 2 inches or 3 inches away from the torch. And what I'm doing right now is just I'm reheating everything. I'm gathering the glass just a little bit. You see I'm pushing gently, just a little bit. Keep turning, and then you go off the flame, you keep turning and you wait. So the heat is even everywhere, and after that I can pull.
Oh, nice.
Keep turning. If you pull too soon, you're just going to pull the hot spot. Okay. Same thing here. Reheat everything. Gather the glass a little bit, so you're pushing just gently. Go off the flame, keep turning, wait, and then you pull and you keep turning.
So you stretch it after you pull it off the flame.
Sorry?
So you pull it off the flame when it's hot, and then you stretch it after.
Yeah, you pull it off the flame, you wait,
You
keep turning.
push it like this, your hand always wants to
Yeah,
push.
exactly.
Always. So if you don't think of just keeping the pressure in the same time, at the same time as you're heating, everything will be so long and out of control.
So now it's like really the
You will
left
not
of
be
it.
able to do it.
Before you were doing the
So
right
it's
of it.
It's just like an
Yeah,
habit
because
to
I'm
take
right-handed.
Right.
away
Well, so
when
am
you
I.
start to borrow.
Yeah.
Because when you
switch.
start to
Yeah,
blowing,
cool.
blowing is thin, it will heat up even faster. And if you don't think of really keeping a little bit of pressure, you will elongate everything and you will lose control. Yeah.
Nice.
So the idea, if you're right-handed, you let the right hand do all the precise work and the left hand all the hard work.
Any left-handed in the class? Okay.
So you, maybe the best spot for you is just in front of me. So
Yes, yes. For you to watch the demo, it will be in front of Cédric.
okay, but it's the same thing. It's just try to do all the hard work with your left hand and the polo.
Yeah.
And you're going to hate me right now.
Because it has to be perfect.
But tomorrow we will switch to something different, and then we will come back to something hollow. So
Yes, don't worry. During that class, we will start tonight with pulling points and blowing because you have time to practice tomorrow, and it's a little bit hard. But then we'll do some solid work and some color theory in Boro. So how to use Boro color, which is completely different than soft glass, and how to use them. And so we'll do some solid, and then we'll go back to blowing, but not so perfect things like blown animals, or I have inspiration here. We'll make blown rubber chicken. Okay, so we will switch between techniques, hard, and then fun. So don't worry, okay? I know it's rough for today, but
yeah,
then,
it's tough.
yeah.
But it's going to be good if everybody can sleep on this, and tomorrow. Okay. So same thing. I'm going to use a tube. We're not going to start with this kind of tube. We're going to use it just a little bit smaller. But because I want everybody to see what's going on, I'm using a tube a little bit bigger. Same thing, scratch, wet. And because it's a tube, I'm just going to hold my thumbs on both sides of the scratch. You reverse it so the scratch has to face away from you, and you can hold it. Don't hold it here. Okay. Hold it here. You can use your elbow and your grip, and you pull. Okay. We will help you for
We
that.
will help you, don't worry.
And now Usually, I really like using a roller like that. We have two rollers in the class, so we can share it. It's like having an extra hand. Okay, it helps to hold everything in place. Since we don't have them, we're just going to work with smaller piece of tube. And it's working really well too, but it can be just a little bit harder. On va les faire tirer au milieu. So what you're looking for is a really fluffy flame. It means that you need a lot of gas, not a flame like that. Really soft, a lot of gas, as wide as you can. And
With a little bit of red in the flame. Do you see it? It's a little bit orange. Just a tiny bit in the flame.
because the idea, Mia, do you have the Scott towel?
Oh, there's some.
Oh, sure.
Oh, the green scrubbies.
No, this is perfect.
Okay.
Just give me.
Because I also have.
Sorry, thank you. I was not prepared. Okay, so yeah, just to make everything clear before we start, we will have a garbage can on the table, so you can use it for your
Scrap glass.
And we have this one with water. You never use it to put glass inside. Okay, I know a lot of people that are working with soft glass are used to put it in the water, but because we are working with hollow glass, you can get hurt really badly.
If you put a hot hollow piece in the water will go out of the hollow piece and you will burn yourself. Okay?
Okay, so just
So
use
no
this
glass in the water.
please don't get hurt. So, lot of gas, fluffy flame. This is not fluffy at all. It's good. We will see if we have enough oxygen to do that. And I'm reheating the tube, and the idea is to gather as much glass as you can. So you see I'm not turning always in the same direction. You can do it if you want, but at some point when the glass is getting really soft, you're going to see that it's easier to go back and forth, but both hands have to do the same thing, okay? And for now it's not too bad because the tube has the same diameter in both hands. At some point, one hand will have to go slower than the other one. I'm using gravity, I'm using angles as well because I want to gather the glass. If I'm staying straight in the flame like this, it's not gathering as much glass as going like that.
You get a hole too, right?
And you see, I'm pushing but not too much. The idea is to build a thickness, not to have like a donut shape in the center of the tube. So once I have this kind of shape, I can go on both sides of the ugly thing in the center. And you keep turning, build some thickness. Go back and forth. Go outside the flame and you wait. Really, really important to wait. If you pull too soon, you're going to end up with something really thin. And because it's like a handle and a blowpipe at the same time, we need something thick and long enough. Okay, so always keep turning, you're still moving. And at the very end, you pull just a little bit harder to make sure it's straight. You keep the point as long as you can. And you don't want to let the tube touching the table because this is really hot and the table is cold, so the tube is going to crack. Use the holder like that and not like that, okay? And stay organized on your table because even if the glass is really clear, it stays hot for maybe 10 or 15 minutes depending of the thickness of the glass. and you can get burned really badly even after 5 minutes. Okay, because it's boro, it's Pyrex glass, it's borosilicate, I can just cool it down right away. It's not going to crack, but it's just because this spot is really thin. I cannot touch the tube here. It's too hot and too thick. If I touch it, it's going to crack. That's why I'm not going like that, because I don't want to have any water dropping on the tube.
So you have to go upside down. Okay? Super important.
Okay? So this is what we're going to practice tonight. But because I want you to understand why we're doing this boring exercise, I'm going to do a small tumbler with this right away. So you will understand the entire process, and then we will come back and just working on the point for tonight. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm leaving a little bit of glass in the center. Doing the same thing. Gathering the glass, so using gravity. You see I'm turning, not too slow, not too fast. It's like if you're turning too fast, the glass is not taking the heat.
Are you pushing it at all?
I'm gathering the glass just a tiny bit.
Okay.
So you have to push slowly, very gently, okay? You don't want to have a donut. You want to have kind of a ball, small ball shape, okay? Exactly like what you just did. And then you wait,
and pull. Keep
And you-
turning, okay? So at the beginning you pull hard, don't go too slow, and then you can slow down when it's almost the right size. Okay? But if you go too slow at the beginning, you won't be able to have something long enough, because the glass is going to cool down really fast when you're going to, and there's nothing you can do. You cannot reheat it to make it longer. Okay, so that's what we're looking for to start anything. Okay, keep in mind this part is hot, so before doing anything, est-ce qu'on a des couteaux de diamant, diamond shear? Je vais prendre les pincettes. Okay, so we are looking for diamond shears.
Non, on n'a pas.
Okay.
C'est une autre façon d'ouvrir.
No, no, it's okay, because you don't have them, so I'm just going to show you a
And
different way.
different way. Without diamond shears.
Okay, so sometimes you can just use your glass knife and open the point here, because if I'm going back inside the flame right now, it's sealed on both hands. The glass is going to collapse because there's a vacuum inside. So you always need to have one side open. Really, really important. Because if you forget to do that, you just have to go to start over. Okay? But doing this is really, really tricky because the glass is really thin and you have to push hard and you're going to cut yourself with the knife. So there's another way to open it. You take a rod like that. And I'm just going to create a stress on the glass. Just like that. Okay? And now you choose someone here. No, you're going like that. Okay? You use just the flame. It didn't work well. I'm just going to do it again.
C'est dur avec des pincettes.
Voilà, allez, ils vont se couper. Okay, and then you can fire polish the edge, but keep in mind that it's hot. It's good if you wait 1 or 2 seconds before cooling it down, because yeah, there's a lot of stress when you do that. Wait and then cool it down, because I have to blow inside and you can get burned. Or sometimes you need to scratch your head or your ear and you forget.
Yeah, I have a friend who does that all the time.
You always get burned behind the ear.
Yes.
He's not learning. Okay, so we're really lucky because Karina just received her pink.
My thing!
This color has her name.
Yes!
So we're going to use Karina's pink.
Yay!
To do a lip wrap, just to make it a little bit nicer, okay? It's not, the idea it's not to show you how to do a lip wrap tonight, it's just to do something finished so you will understand why we are working so hard.
We will show you again how to pull a stringer tomorrow. Don't worry, okay? It's just for the purpose of the demos, and tomorrow we'll talk more about color and I'll show you how to pull stringer in borrow, which is way different than doing it in soft glass.
And you see, same thing, you don't want to rush things. You wait. What a nice color!
It's my color!
Okay, so it's open on this side. You want to make sure it's long enough but not too long. If it's too long, you will end up blowing like this and you will lose control. If it's too short, you're going to get burned. Okay? So the international measure for that is this long.
That's
If you're not
bullshit.
sure of this,
It's because it is.
It's kind of white.
Yes.
yeah, but I'm
If
going to
I
measure
do
it on the
that,
board.
I burn myself, okay?
Yeah. So we have to use his hand.
30
Yeah.
centimeters. What is it in inches? 12 inches?
Yeah, something like
About 12 inches?
It's a
30
foot.
centimeters?
no,
foot.
it's just,
But it's 12.
I'm going to put it on the
Yeah.
board and then you can measure your hand.
Yeah, c'est 30 centimètres à peu près? About that.
Okay, okay.
That's a foot?
It doesn't
Okay.
matter, don't worry.
Yeah.
12 inches.
Okay.
So now I'm not going to explain everything I'm doing because it's going to be too much information for tonight. I'm just going to do it and we will do it again a few times. So I'm just going to make a tumbler. A really expensive one. Because it's New York, you know.
That's right.
It's more expensive. We already learned this.
Okay.
My God.
Yes. Crossing the bridge.
Yes.
$9.50. It's 15 Canadian dollars to cross the bridge.
That's right.
My God.
We're like, no, we have to exit. Oh no, too late. Oh, $9
Are you staying in Brooklyn or Manhattan?
in Brooklyn.
Good.
Yeah.
So are you pushing or pulling or?
So he is pushing a little bit.
Okay.
You always want, as soon as you heat some borrow, you want to push.
Okay.
Because if you don't think of pushing just a tiny bit, you will start pulling. Your hand just want to do this. And then you will stretch everything. You will stretch the bubble so much that it will be so thin, it will be garbage.
Okay.
So as soon as you heat, you
so
push a little bit.
I'm just trying to gather the glass and then
And
wait,
then
wait,
you wait. And then you slowly blow. You look at what you're doing, and then you blow a little bit more.
I can blow potatoes.
Yes,
That's good.
that's good. That's a start.
She blows beautiful potatoes.
That's awesome. It's because you don't wait. It's the only reason. You
Really?
don't. Yeah,
We are not going to.
yeah.
Well, we're not looking to have something perfect. I just want to show you.
And you're in luck. You're in the right place.
So how do you know how long to wait?
When?
Years of practice.
Well, actually, when you look at the glass, you go out of the flame and it's bright orange and glowing. And all of a sudden, you see that the glow start to disappear from super glowing to a little bit darker. Now it's time to blow.
Good.
The problem I have is, like, he's not heating everything at once.
No.
If I heat a small amount, I can blow small glow. But when I try to do it in sections like this,
Yeah.
it's hard to get a single round piece if it comes to the table.
Oh, yeah. I
You see what I'm
understand.
saying?
I understand. You have problem to make the transition between the two bubbles to do something round.
And then I try to go back and
Yeah.
fix it, and
It's too thin, and then
it's
you have
just-
yeah,
it just-
yeah. Probably you blow too much everything,
Probably.
and then
Yeah.
you have trouble to repeat the whole thing to round the shape, to give it a nice round shape. We'll work on that. Yeah,
It's like trying to even up,
yeah.
you know, your hair or your eyebrows or
Yeah.
something, and you just end up with nothing.
Oh
Good.
yeah, I understand the feeling.
So it's working, but it takes a little bit of time. The flame is hot, but not so hot. If you work with propane,
It's faster.
faster.
Yeah. And see how it blows a little bit, and then he looks and he recenter, and then he blows a little bit more, and you recenter, and look at what it's doing. You have to do that. You cannot just blow, 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 and then you have a potato.
I have a potato anyway, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to make one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Don't try to have the perfect shape right now. It's
No.
like
It's not time
you're
for the perfect
blowing, and
shape.
then second step you're pulling, second step you're.
You're blowing quite gently, right?
Sorry, I can't hear.
Are you blowing quite gently?
Yes.
At the beginning it was gentle, and then when the glass is getting colder, to blow harder. But at the beginning it's always really soft. Because if you blow too hard, you're just going to explode everything.
are you doing the middle now? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
So you do the two ends first.
Yes, you start
this
with
shape.
You
Oh, for
start,
that shape.
yeah, for that shape.
Oh,
You start with the bottom, because if you start with the top, you will not be able to see what's going on in the bottom.
wait. Okay, but to be able to do that, I need to be able to pull a point first.
Yeah.
And now it's like. And I'm just going to remove this point. We will show you different way of doing it. This is the way I really like. It's different for every hat blower.
So it's just putting and blowing to thin the glass. It's like paper thin right now. And then you use a very pointy flame with a lot of oxygen in it, and it will go in the flame and cut.
I'm just using the pressure of the flame. Okay, and not in the water.
Not in water.
Check that. I love this sound so much.
Me too.
I'm just going to fix the lips a little bit. Just because I'm going to add a lip wrap. If it's too thin, it's going to be really hard to control. As soon as I'm going to hit the glass, it's going to go on one side or on the other one. So I'm just making a little bit thicker. And now I'm adding the Car Flamingo.
Oh my god, I love that color.
Did you buy that color?
It's a Roger Paramore color,
Uh-huh.
but it has my name.
Okay.
It's the Karina Flamingo pink.
Yes. Nice.
Because we don't want to pay for the border.
For customs.
We're customs. We ship it here. Okay, I'm just going to melt everything. And now you see I'm working upside down because I don't want the glass to gather. I just want to reheat everything. Can we have more pressure or is it like
I can try. Get you
like for the gas?
Yes. Yes.
No?
Oh.
Come on. Yeah, if you have more gas, you end up with a floaty flame, really large, and it's helping you a lot. So we're just going to stay a little bit smaller. Okay, don't expect to do something like this. We're just going to work on smaller piece. It's going to be the same process, but you're going to be more successful. Okay, so I have a kind of tumbler shape. And at the beginning it's never round, and actually I did it because I was tired of doing round things. I'm doing scientific glass blowing for a living and it always has to be straight and perfect. And when we decided to do like production work, we said, oh, I don't want to measure things, I'm tired of it. So we start by doing this, and this costs probably $5 in the craft show. And
20 in New York.
20 in New York? Come on.
Absolutely.
God, no.
And yeah, and because it was just craft, this is already more interesting, and you can sell it for $15.
30 in New York.
30 in New York, and so it's probably like 65 in New York, I guess. And we're going to use a grabber just to fold. Okay. We're going to use a grabber, second try.
Someday.
We're going to use a grabber.
Fish de Nathan.
Can I try this one? Done with that crap.
We're going to use a real one.
So a grabber is to grab things. Like a few weeks ago we were doing a demo in Australia and it was really something. It was a fancy dinner on a golf course and everything. And like we were walking doing our demo and we start using a grabber, and so the lady who was commenting everything was saying, interesting tool, what is it?
A grabber. And then, they were like, ooh, grabber. And then they start to make really nasty joke about grabbing.
The grabber, yeah.
They were very funny.
See, what I think of is wine. Like, who's bringing the wine?
I'm going to explain you everything one more time. I'm just,
You turn backwards.
no,
Thank you.
I just didn't hear you, I'm sorry. And I'm a little bit slow too. So when you're doing a flat bottom like this, it always creates a line of stress here. We have a polariscope, so we will be able to see the stress inside the glass. We will show you how to use it. But just because I'm doing like a flame annealing, I'm removing the stress. And the piece.
Do you all know what annealing the glass means? Yeah? No. Annealing the glass, like every glass recipe that you have in the world, they have an annealing temperature.
Okay.
So it means that you have to remove the stress inside the glass.
Okay.
If you don't go through that process, it will crack at some point. 4 millimeters that I have right here. You can take whatever size you want. It doesn't matter at all. The sticks makes it flat, really flat.
éclatent.
Pincette vénitienne?
Normalement, elles sont là.
Non? Ah, ici. Okay. Okay, so we need to make some chainmail first. Is that how to say it?
Chainmail?
Yeah, links?
Links.
Links? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, links. So it's very easy. Don't even need any tools. Nothing. You can make all kind of shapes, it doesn't matter. I'm just going square. And you barely don't need any tools.
That's what you say.
Yeah, no tools.
Yeah, okay.
And then you might want to go and add just a tiny bit of glass in between, just to fuse it. So we'll make few ones that are completely closed first. So you fuse one side, it doesn't matter if it's moving a little bit, no worries. You go on the other side.
So you basically can use the extra glass from your punty or from that garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think that it's moving too much, you just add a tiny punty. It will help you not to lose control. And when you think it's fused enough, you can remove it. Clean the tip. But again, you don't have to. It's your chain. It can look any way you want. It doesn't matter. Okay, wait for that to cool down. And we'll make a second one. And I was able to remove it just because this was hot and that wasn't hot at all, okay? So it's called a cold seal. When you have a cold seal, there's no way two pieces of beryl will stay together, ever. So we'll make another one. They don't have to be the same size. It doesn't matter. Make them bigger for your first try. If you make them too small, it will be very, very, very hot and very hard. Super quick. You will not have time to see what's going on. And then when we attach all the chain together, it will start moving too much and everything will stick together. So big first, and then you can go smaller. But first make a big one. Just remove the extra glass. So far, do you have any questions?
No.
No? You are allowed to talk, you know?
So
That's
what used to
fine.
happen to me was when I would get to the third one,
Yeah?
so now everything is cold
Yes.
and it would crack.
They crack maybe because they were not fused perfectly all the
Okay.
way around.
Can you
huh?
anneal it now or no?
You can anneal them if you want.
Mhm.
I don't think it's
Necessary.
necessary because
Mhm.
it's beryl. If you do a chain with soft glass, yes. I will do all the closed one and then I will anneal everything and then I will attach maybe 3 together. 3, 3, 3. Anneal everything and then 9 together and then anneal everything. With soft glass, I will do something like that. But
Mhm.
with beryl, not really. I'm not afraid that something will happen. Okay, so now it's time to put these all together. And again, you can do any shape. It doesn't matter the shape that you do, really.
If you wanted to round it, how do you?
You need a round shape, and you will need to keep the glass long, and then you wrap it over something round. Or there's something you can do with a copper. You can do it like with this. The easiest way to do is to have like a piece of copper and a wood handle, and then you will just wrap the glass around, and you will have like a coil, and then you cut it, and then you just have to reheat the bottom. Yeah, jump rings and glass. They will be all perfect, and it will be super fast. If you want to make them round like that, you will be like, I will still be there in half an hour to have something very nice. Yeah.
So you wrap around copper, does it get hot?
That's why you need a wood handle.
So glass and copper expand at the same rate, is that correct?
Yes, and yeah. But when it's cold, with nothing stick on it, metal, copper, and glass will stick, and you can just remove it. That will work. Okay, so now put them inside and see. It's hot a little bit. Okay, you just go a little bit on the side. You just spread it on the side like a jump ring. It's the same thing. And then I will repeat right here just a little bit. And then I will seal it so it won't move. Just a little bit on one side. And then again, you go on the other side and you put a little bit of glass on the other side. And then you can add your handle. And then this time I will remove it right away, so I can switch to the other side and keep my chain at the bottom. And you just clean the excess of glass. Together, we have to be together in the studio to decide what we want to do. But he has his studio downstairs and I have my studio upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's nice.
we have a barn, a big studio, very big studio.
Do you work out of pictures or drawings that you make?
Drawings?
Yes. So you draw on
I have a, I don't know the proportion,
Right.
and I also need a plan to know where I start. And you cannot make solid work in glass if you don't draw. It will never work. You will always be sad about the result if you don't draw. Super sad.
So what are you doing first?
So I'm doing the wings first.
Okay.
So I'm just gathering some glass.
So guess what I'm doing?
Oh, Do we have a masher?
You're
Putting a
gathering.
point.
Mia? Yeah. Do we have a masher? I forgot my masher. Totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
Sorry? I did a scientific glass blowing degree in France. And Karina learned in Quebec, and for the past 20 years we are
Thank you.
taking classes every year for 1 week or 2 weeks. Studying, and we're teaching, we're taking classes, we're working. Like we're taking a class in August. There's always something to learn.
Always.
What class are you taking in August?
We're taking a class with Robert Mikkelsen coming to Quebec. So it's easy for us, and we don't have to go to Florida.
And it's nice. The class is in the countryside near to a national park. So we're renting a cabin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
And it's going to be funny. It's,
Yeah.
The class is just with pipe makers, so we have no idea how. It's a different world.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
That would be fun. So I'm just
Young
brushing
pipe maker.
some color on clear because I don't want to use pure color. It's so expensive. I always try to put a layer of clear somewhere.
Is it also less
Yeah,
toxic?
exactly.
Or
I'm sorry?
Is it less toxic? If you
No.
use it doesn't make any difference.
No, well, once the glass is melt with the oxide and everything, it's not very toxic. It's toxic when you have powder and you can breathe in
You
the
guys don't wear
powder.
masks at all, right?
No, not when you're working.
Yeah.
It's just when you manipulate the powder, you need a mask to do that. You will have some dust.
Yeah.
No, it's just I'm making it longer because I'm going to split it in half. So I don't have to pull twice the number of points that I need.
So now you're making the
And
texture for
I'm
the
making
feathers.
some feather texture, just a little bit.
And is that on the side of the color?
Yes, it's on the
can
side of the
feel it.
color, just to create some depth in
I'm
the
doing
color.
it for
Yes.
26 years.
You don't have to, but I think it's
No,
prettier.
but I like that.
The more layer you add, the prettier the wings will be. They will be very fluffy if you add a lot of layers.
It's a little bit
I will
takes
just
more
put
time.
2 layers, but you can cover it completely if you want.
Uh-huh.
When I do swan, I cover it completely
With clear.
with clear. Sometimes I will add few other color like in between.
Mm-hmm. Yes, to give it depth.
Yeah,
So this is truly almost like sculpting.
yes, it is like sculpting. And this is a cheese knife.
Yeah, yeah.
$1.
Yes,
I have it for 20 years.
right.
Not
my-
even a US dollar.
Yeah, Canadian dollars. It's like 5 American cents. But it's the best tool you can buy, a cheese knife, because it's stainless steel and
Yes.
it's thick, so it doesn't heat
Right,
very fast, so it will never stick to the
right,
glass.
right.
Yeah, easy. When you find the perfect one with the perfect handle, you just keep
Yes.
it.
I can pull it down, but because it's some color, it's not clear glass. It's better to wait just a little bit more. A little bit more fragile.
So now I'm just going to stretch, and I heat more at the back than I heat at the front with the texture.
Yes.
Just because I want to keep the texture.
Right. Cool. Look at
It's a glass
that.
made for that.
Magic.
Yeah. I'm heating a little bit more here than here. Yes. If you heat even everywhere, it will be just long.
It might.
But if you heat more on one
in
side
the
than
glass
the
world,
other
yeah.
side, yeah.
I think that I can't remember. It was just after the Second World War or something.
Okay.
So it's I don't remember exactly when it is, but it's not like a 2,000-year glass.
Yeah.
And then when I cut, I like to just put my shears on my torch.
Uh-huh.
Because nobody is perfect with their hands. Sometimes you can go
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
So I just put my shear here and I bring my glass to my shears. So I know I'm stable.
Nice.
And then I will cut
Yeah,
again.
I'm just recenter everything because I'm going to split it in half. So if I don't do it now,
I just started using scissors a lot this summer.
because I won't
Shears
be
are
able
amazing.
to know what's the So I'm not going to make it too big. Because the bed is not going to be too big and the flame is going to keep everything a little bit small. Just can-
Okay, so now when I'm done cutting everything, I take a smaller flame and then I go in between the crack and I remove some of the texture. You know, when you cut in glass, it's always a little bit like crunchy. So you don't want to keep that. If you keep it, your wings are going to crack when you will put them on your bird. But if you go in between and you make sure that you fuse that texture, then you can use your wings and they won't crack.
So you see, when you work with color, you can always
sorry?
buy darker glasses.
I'm very
The one
not,
with
yeah, I'm in the flame.
dark and
very,
you work,
like,
it's good for
Very pointy.
Just
for a day or two, but
Very
if you
pointy.
do it every day,
No, no.
Okay.
it can hurt.
Okay, so now you need to flame anneal a little bit. And then you need a handle, not a ponty. It will fall off. So you need to fuse it very, very well. So it's secure, and then you can remove it. And you just fix the shape. Okay, flame annealing, we'll make the second one and then we'll be good to do the body. So see how it's glowing on one side and not on the other side? We want to even the temperature. I want to stay in the flame and make sure that it's not glowing anywhere. But I cannot just wait like that on the side.
Right.
Because it will cool down at different speed. So I just stay in the flame with a lot of gas. And I go everywhere
Until it stops glowing.
until it stops glowing.
That's what I needed to hear. That's what I needed to know.
So now it's pretty even. You can go even further a little bit. Just to cool down everything slowly.
Open the foot. So this is the top of the foot.
Okay, so now I'm
Nice.
good to make a second one.
You're not done.
He got jokes, right?
We have two separate studios.
That's
I'm
what.
so happy we have two studios. One with my best friend at the same time.
Uh-huh.
That's what I love.
That's
Super, super, super loud. And I feel very comfortable in that.
I can't concentrate. And we're not doing the same thing. In fact, I'm doing a lot of scientific glass blowing.
Yes, yes,
And I do
yes.
whatever I want.
That's right. See, I brought up twins. So, and
Okay.
when you have twins, you can work under any type of environment.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm sure you can.
Well, I think girls are really good at doing this. But
Yeah, not
for
guys so
it's
much.
like, one thing at a time, please. So if you put it down on the table, it's cracking. You don't want to. Yeah, it has to be hot when you fuse it to something else, and after that you don't touch it anymore. Not really. It's really thick, and because of the texture as well.
Right next to me, and I kept them warm. But it still works if they're on the table. Usually it's okay. It's just that it takes more time.
Thank you.
It takes just more time to reheat the whole thing, and when I work, I don't want to lose my time thinking of my wings.
So when you say you have an annealer beside you,
Yeah, right
what is
here.
it? Like it's a little square thing?
No, I have
It's
a
like that.
bead annealer
Okay.
right next to me.
They usually I anneal my stuff in the Big Scott.
Oh,
And the-
but if it's small. do you
No,
use
I'm
a
just
small
saying, yeah.
one? Okay, but the bead annealer is perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what we are using. for
Yeah.
lots of stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now we need a smaller flame just to go fuse the wings on. So no texture when you're fusing. If you have texture, it will crack. So you have to make sure that it's fused all the way around and that you don't have a big blob. If you have a big blob, it will break.
We're going to be ready right in time.
The chair is so high, I cannot feel my legs anymore. And I usually powder where I attach, just because it will just camouflage a little bit the attachment point. But you don't have to do it. Just